Being a massive Clone Wars fan, I was really excited for Tales of the Jedi. In fact, I actually haven't been this excited for Star Wars in a while. The Tales of the Jedi trailer was so badass and it looked really promising. And the show was actually pretty good. Well, for the most part. I have a lot of issues with it. It's Disney, it can't be perfect because they're running a circus over there. So, I guess I have to talk about the episodes now and stuff. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, episode one was so boring. It was awful. Don't get me wrong, Ahsoka's one of my favorite characters, but we don't need to see her boring ass, convoluted origin story. We don't even have a backstory for
Hello
Obi-Wan, for
there.
fuck's sake. All we know is stuff from Phantom Menace and onward. We don't need origins for every character, especially her. We were told all we needed to know in the Clone Wars. Plo Koon found her and took her in as a Jedi. Also, that 5-second clip of Plo Koon finding Ahsoka was way more interesting than this entire episode. I'm not joking either. There's not really much to talk about here because all they do is walk around in the forest and jack off.
Look, Ahsoka, everywhere there is life.
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
But there is one thing I can talk about, and that's this stupid tiger thing. Why the actual fuck did it just eat baby Ahsoka alive? It brings her to this weird place alone, and then it just stares at her. What the fuck? She should be dead. Maybe it wasn't hungry, but, shouldn't it kill Ahsoka just in case? I don't know. I get animals are stupid, but come on now. And then she makes retarded baby noises, and then the tiger's like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna fucking eat you because you're harassing me with baby noises. This literally makes zero sense. So, why didn't it just eat her right then and there? I get this is a show for kids, but that doesn't matter because they are going against logic. Either you have your show make sense and be good, or you have it make no sense and be garbage. So, if you want your show to be good, then don't add in stupid scenes. A wild animal would eat you, you're gone. And you can't say, it's a nice animal, they want to hurt her. Well, if they didn't want to hurt her, then why did it take Ahsoka away in the first place? And why did it try to kill Ahsoka's mom, too? Also, the fangs on that thing look really damn sharp. How is it holding her up like that without ripping her shirt? Is she wearing invincible fabric? Motherfucking Beskar cloth, bitch! What the fuck? Why is she being such a Mary Sue here? How did she know how to calm down the beast? I guess she's force sensitive. But in the episode, they say she's a little over 1. Also, she never had any training before. And before you start typing away in the comments, yes, I'm aware that Baby Yoda calmed down the Rancor in the Book of Boba Fett, but you also gotta remember, he was already trained at the Jedi Temple. Sure, he forgot everything, but this was also after Luke helped him remember stuff. So yeah, you can't use that fucking excuse. How is Ahsoka riding on the tiger without, falling over or anything? The last time I checked, babies don't know how to ride animals. Never see a baby on a horse, do ya? Oh wait, I'm sorry. Babies do know how to ride animals because Minecraft said so. I forgot. Honestly, this episode could have been 3 minutes long and it wouldn't change the story. Fuck this episode. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It was trash. Alright, now let's talk about the good ones. Episode 2 was alright. There were a few things I really loved. I enjoyed seeing how Dooku decided to side with the captors instead of the senator. It really shows you Dooku's disillusion with the corrupt Senate, and you see why he decided to leave the Jedi Order and become the leader of the Separatists. Just as Ki-Adi-Mundi said, he's a political idealist. And I love seeing him tap into the dark side. My boy starts force-choking the senator. And I love how he tells the senator that corruption like yours must be eradicated. It's just so cool seeing the perspective of villains. Why are they doing what they're doing? But yeah, other than that, I didn't really enjoy this episode all too much. The last few minutes can't save the entire episode. It was still boring. Alright, episode 3. I like this one a lot more. This is where I really started to enjoy this show, and right off the bat, I just want to say, good thing Black don't crack, because Mace Windu looks nearly identical to how he does in the Clone Wars, 20 to 30 years later? Apparently this episode takes place in 44 BBY, so yeah, 20-ish years before the Clone Wars. But anyways, I love seeing Mace Windu and Dooku's friendship, because it was only, hinted at in Attack of the Clones.
Then, I'm sorry, old friend.
Well, I guess it's not really a friendship here, but it's just cool seeing them together. I guess you can call it, they're dynamic. Windu and Dooku fighting together was pretty badass. Then we get to see more dark side Dooku shit, which I can't complain about. I mean, come on. Then Mace Windu was given his council seat, and also at the Jedi Master's funeral, this really bothered me. So Plo Koon's there, right? For some reason, he's wearing clone armor. There's no war yet. They are in a time of peace. He should look like this. It's how he looks during the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. I know this is kind of a nitpick, but it's just annoying. They should get their characters' outfits right. Especially Filoni. He's obsessed with Plo Koon. You'd think he'd know. Whatever. Alright, episode 4. We are now entering the godly territory. This episode was sick as fuck. We see Dooku delete Kamino in the archives with Sifo Dyas' code, and this is during the time of the Phantom Menace, so yeah, that was really cool seeing. And this does in fact line up with canon, which I know is something dumbass Filoni struggles with, so yeah, good job, I guess, jackass. It's the only praise I'm giving you. Then we see Yaddle, and she doesn't talk backwards. And I was shocked. Like, this is concerning. Why does Yoda talk backwards? Now, this is my personal theory, but I think Yoda suffered from a massive stroke. Think about it. He's old as shit, he talks backwards, and he walks with a cane. It makes perfect sense to me, and there's not a single hole in this theory, and you can't say otherwise. Then we see how hard Qui-Gon's death was on Dooku, which was pretty sad, not gonna lie. He's just standing there, staring at that cool tree, just like in denial. I felt really bad for him. He goes to see Palpatine, who was voiced by the man himself, Ian McDermott, which is just amazing. So is Liam Neeson's Qui-Gon too, it's just fucking awesome. And Yaddle follows Dooku, and she sees a very angry Dooku having a little chat with Palpatine. And obviously she gets caught, and Palpatine is like, "Kill that bitch, Dooku. She's gonna fuck with my plans." They have a pretty good fight. I mean, wasn't too great, but that's not the point of the episode. And it was really interesting to me seeing how Yaddle stepped down from the council because she was disillusioned with the Jedi too, just like Dooku. I like seeing the different perspectives of all the other Jedi. It's just really cool and just interesting to me. I don't know, I just want more of it. I also like how she thought it was stupid of the council for letting Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan go face Maul alone. Then Dooku kills her and has a cool one-liner and stuff. This episode was fucking amazing. I love it. Alright, episode 5. Oh my god, I fucking love this episode too. I can't decide whether this one's my favorite or if episode 4 is my favorite. This episode brings in that Clone Wars nostalgia. You got the Anakin and Ahsoka dynamic, which is like the best part about the Clone Wars. You get to see Anakin's difficult ways of training, preparing Ahsoka for the harsh reality of war and whatever the droids throw at her, which goes perfectly in line with Anakin as a character because he's unorthodox and he goes to the absolute extreme to protect the people he cares about. And unlike the first episode, she's not being a goddess Mary Sue here. She's getting knocked out so many damn times. She's failing, and in doing so, it's helping her learn how to be a better fighter. And Disney really needs to do more stuff like this. It's okay to have a female character fail at stuff. Everyone fails at something at some point in their life, believe it or not. Having an all-powerful goddess who's perfect at everything doesn't teach anyone shit. There's not a lot to this episode, but I mean, what else do you expect from a 10-minute short? It's great for what it is. It's hard to hate this episode. The Clone Wars fan in me just won't let me do it. And just seeing Anakin's training methods is just extremely interesting to me. And I'm not lying when I say this, I've always wondered how he trained Ahsoka in the Clone Wars. They never really touched on it. I also love seeing Ahsoka's progression, like when it jumps to around season 4 or 5-ish. Her best time was 5 minutes with the clones instead of 10 seconds. And at first she was getting pissed off because she really didn't understand the point of it. But then after the time jump, she wants to beat her score and she's now invested. She wants to get better. And at the end, she has a little exchange with Rex during season 7, which was a nice touch. All in all, a great episode. I'd watch it again for sure. After the godliness of episode 4 and 5, does episode 6 live up to the hype? No! It's fucking trash! The only thing I liked was the first scene with Padme's funeral and Bail and Ahsoka meeting. So I know some people are upset that Ahsoka was quote-unquote retconned to be at Padme's funeral. And to those people I have to say, shut the fuck up. They were friends, and there's hundreds of people there, and they all knew Padme in some way. I don't really see it as a retcon, I just see it as giving one of the faceless people there a name. It changes nothing in Revenge of the Sith, and it changes nothing in Lucas's Star Wars. So it doesn't matter, like, for real.
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
This episode is just ripped out of a trash Ahsoka novel, then modified. It's really dumb, and there's something here that pisses me off so much. The fight with the Inquisitor was so fucking anticlimactic. I was so mad. I was ready for it to be badass. I was like, aw shit, my girl's about to get into it with this Inquisitor with no weapon. But then she just grabs his lightsaber, shuts it off, and then kills him. The fuck was that? They were in such a cool setting. The entire place was on fire. There was a lot of potential for Ahsoka to have an awesome fight while she uses her surroundings to her advantage to beat this guy. Maybe throw his ass into the fire and fry him like Anakin. But nope, just kills him instantly. Fuck you, Filoni. They seriously couldn't have added an extra minute or two to this episode for this fight? The first episode was 18 minutes long, and this one's 16 minutes long. So obviously adding a couple minutes wouldn't change anything. How about you take away 2 minutes of Ahsoka and her mom roaming in the forest doing fucking nothing? And he's in the trailer too. Come on, if you put him in the trailer, at least have him do something. That's your classic expectation subversion. Ugh, this episode sucked. I fucking hate it. So in conclusion, I absolutely loved most of the show, and I could care less about the stuff I hate. I'm happy I and a lot of others were finally able to enjoy some Star Wars again, even if it was brief, because it's been like 2 years since we've gotten something I liked. I know a lot of people are disappointed with the show, but like, these are shorts. You can't go in expecting it to have the plot of a full-length show. Yes, I'd rather have a full-length show with a real story, but for what this show was, I really love it. But with that being said, I'm still pretty disappointed with episode 1 and 6 because they sucked ass. If I ignore those two, the show is amazing. I think Filoni really needs to tone it down with Ahsoka though. Look, I mean, a lot of people like her character. I get that, because I do too. But she doesn't need to be in everything. It's getting annoying at this point. She's in the Clone Wars and Rebels, which is fine. Then you get to the Mandalorian, and I guess it's okay. I don't know. Then there's season 7 that has the dumb Martez sister arc that did not need to be in there at all. It should have had a completely different arc. I'm fine with her being in the Siege of Mandalore though. And then there's the Book of Boba Fett where she shows up for absolutely no reason other than to give Filoni new jack-off material. Sick fuck. Then she's in Tales of the Jedi, which I liked episode 5 a lot, but her other 2 episodes sucked. I really don't even think she needed to be in this show. It should have been someone else, or, I don't know, Dooku-centric show. Yeah, I know, how unoriginal me. I know everyone's saying that, but it's true. She really didn't need to be in this show. She's getting her own show next year. She's probably going to make a bunch of other cameos. I'm willing to bet she'll be in Boring Bad Season 2. Oh my god, that was a really bad joke. I'm so sorry you had to hear that.
My apologies.
But still, Filoni needs to chill out, dude. He has a serious fetish and it just isn't okay. Okay, so, I don't have anything else to say about this show. So yeah, like, bye and stuff.
Come on, motherfuckers, come on! Come on, motherfuckers, come on! Yeah! Come on, motherfuckers, come on! Come on, motherfuckers, come on!
Release the brainstorm to make the motherfucker